I have water in my ears.
And oop.
Ready?
Yeah.
Greetings, Internet. Welcome to But I'm Still a Good Person by Vince Nicholas. I'm Vince Nicholas. I'm joined by my sparkling wifey, Carolyn Nicholas.
Hello.
Hello, honey. Thank you for joining me on our sectional sofa in our living room on our little program here. Okay. So, our condo complex recently got a little library. And the little library is very important in our lives. We plan walks based on where little libraries are located in our little area of West Sacramento. The three main little libraries, there's one right in front of the Schloop's house, and then there's one at the park by Lincoln Wynn's house, and then there's the third little library is at the lake, which is really
Yes.
a man-made body of water, but let's not get into that. But so when we go for a walk on the weekend, which we often do, you're like, oh, I want to go to the Schloop Little Library. I want to go to the Lincoln Wynn Little Library. And it figures into our activities. Um, can can you tell me, honey, is there like a code of little libraries? Do If you take one, do you have to bring that exact book? Can you bring it to a different little library if you feel like this one is lacking?
It's important to maintain balance.
Ah,
So what I like to do is
yes, sensei. You're like Pat Morita.
I like to I like to return a book to a different little library because I want
Oh,
to spread the joy around the neighborhood.
I see. I see.
And if someone's put it in a specific little library, then maybe someone else has already read it. It needs to go to a new area and find a new audience.
Ah, yeah, yeah. That's very, very smart. Good marketing, synergy. And oftentimes you take it upon yourself to clean up the
Ugh,
little libraries. Some are a mess.
I cannot stand an untidy little library.
Yeah.
So I will books are often just haphazard,
Mm,
uh, not
lot.
facing the right
Yeah.
way.
Lying down.
Yeah, so I like to put all the adult ones together in a nice little line,
Yeah.
and then I put the kids on a different shelf
Yeah.
and tidy it up.
What's your hot take on the very controversial topic of magazines? Because some people just stuff magazines in the bottom, the lower half of the little library. Are you for that? Are you against that?
I don't like it,
Mm.
but I guess there's an audience for that.
Ah,
You like magazines. That's what you would go for if you had to pick something out, I bet.
absolutely, absolutely. Well, but I don't. Those little libraries, you call them little libraries. I call them little germ factories. Uh,
Yeah, sometimes there's like spiders when I'm trying to
yeah,
clean up.
yeah,
Scary.
yeah, and they're a little musty, and I'm like, how many people have touched this? But you have no problem in bringing them into our home, putting them on our bookshelf, and sometimes in our bed, darling. So, honey, uh, when did your love for reading begin, and do you have any idea where it stems from? And if you can cry, please do.
I've loved reading since I could read from a very young age.
Mm,
I just ate up books.
mhm.
I was little when I learned to read. I don't know, 4 or what age do kids learn to read?
Yeah,
Like by kindergarten. And I like started reading more adult books, chapter books from a really young age. My mom likes to read a lot,
yeah.
and she was when I was young, she'd always be reading in her free time. So I remember laying by her and
Uh,
reading over her shoulder, and we
uh,
always had books around, and I'd just pick up whatever was there. So I
yeah,
read a good variety.
yeah. Your parents recently had a Zoom call about their will, and you guys talked about the documentation and what's going to happen, and blah blah blah. Um, but I'm like, so what are you going to get, or what's that all about, or what do you want? And you said, there's a few books I want
Yeah.
from them.
When I think of what if I might want from my parents after they pass away, books was the first thing that came to mind.
Uh,
There's some that they've had for decades that I love.
maybe a cardigan sweater or two from Lizard Lips. And you're on BookTube, which is you
Oh,
watch primarily women, right? Talk about books on YouTube.
there's a few guys, yeah.
Oh, okay. And that's like a whole community interest, special
Yes.
niche. I hear from our parasocial podcast friend Megan Rage that book talk is where it's at.
Yeah, I'm not on TikTok. I
Ah,
can't get into TikTok. It's
yeah,
not for me, but I
yeah,
love BookTube.
yeah,
I'm I've found a handful of YouTubers that I really love, and I follow them on Instagram too.
yeah,
And Goodreads, I'm so into Goodreads, like
yeah,
constantly. So it's great to see what other people are reading and get recommendations and learn about books you might not learn about otherwise.
yeah. Growing up for me, my mom, a voracious reader, but she subscribed to Time Magazine and the San Diego Union Tribune, the newspaper in San Diego. So she's very, that's just how she operates. She's very matter of fact. She doesn't have time with all these books.
Your mom and I have actually talked about books, and she gave
Uh,
me a book one time when we were down there visiting her.
did it have to do with financial literacy?
No,
Oh,
close. It's
what?
had to do with like bettering yourself and
Ah,
self-help type stuff.
yeah. Are you into that? Like 7 habits for highly effective people? I
N-
always feel like,
I'm really not
what?
because I don't enjoy reading those types of book usually. Every now and then a good one comes along that's decent. The one your mom gave me was pretty good,
Uh,
but in general I avoid that genre.
yeah, me too.
It just
Cause
doesn't seem to help.
right,
It's just a waste of time.
right, and everything seems to make sense. And let's be honest, honey, I can't get any better. I'm perfect. Um, but I'm always like, if if this helped, then the person writing it wouldn't need to write it, or I don't know. It just seems like a bunch of gibberish and mumbo jumbo to me. Um, but so my mom, very business oriented, practical, newspapers, magazines, and then my stepdad, Grandpa Curtis, books as far as the eye can see. He loves sci-fi, he loves
Fantasy.
fantasy, and he loves big, thick books, and he has books upon books on bookcases, and it's books, uh, books till the end of time. Um, and so they're the exact opposite. They both read a ton, um, but they're on opposite ends of the Venn diagram or whatever, or the spectrum. But my mom has always been news, 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 current events, current events, current events, and business, money issues, financial literacy. And I got that from her. So I read Time Magazine every week when she subscribed to it, and San Diego Union Tribune. I read the sports section, and I read the business section and the entertainment section, the latest movies and all that stuff. Uh, but then I went into a lull because after high school slash college, you don't have to read. So I stopped reading. But with you, I have rekindled my romance with the Kindle of all things. But we
Yes.
we like to read every weekend. We go for walks to little libraries and come home and read. And then we do.
Sometimes I drag you to the library
Oh
on
yeah,
Saturday afternoons.
yeah, yeah. Because you like to look at the 25-cent
Oh,
shelf or whatever.
I love the book sale.
Yeah.
Usually, most libraries, or at least the two that we frequent, have the sale section in the front, and you can get a great title for 50 cents or a dollar.
I'm always like, I find the husband chair like at the,
Yeah,
like at the dress store, dress barn, where they have the husband chair, so we can sit there and
you
stare
get
at the wall.
you get tired real quickly of having to hold your head sideways to
Yeah,
read the titles on the spines of
yeah,
books. So you
yeah.
tap out pretty quickly.
Why don't they stack them 90 degrees to the left? It would be so much easier for us old people with our crinked necks.
We don't go to the library very often together because you can't last more than a few minutes. And I literally, this is what I love to do.
Hmm.
I love to go up and down every aisle and
Yeah,
literally look at every title of every book. And
yeah,
I love to see the ones that I've already read.
yeah. I
That's my idea of a fun time.
yeah. I stay in the front section where they put all the new uh new ones and bestsellers, and I'm like, oh, there's a Michelle Obama biography. That's great. I'm ready to go. Bye, Alex Hirsch. So a few months ago on our condo Facebook, the great Kathy Bailey, our HOA president, wrote on our little HOA Riva group, hey, who wants a little library? We do. That'd be cool. That'd be fun. That'd be a grand time. Oh, I say that too often. But then the next sentence is, we just need to raise $550. So lo and behold, if you do get a little library, all these little libraries, they cost north of $500 because you got to get the materials, um, and it's registered with this website, what is it, freelittleLibrary.org?
And oop.
Littlefreelibrary.org. I poked around on there, and one thing that surprised me is you don't need permission. Like, you can just put one in the dirt in a park, in front of your house. It doesn't say call code, call county, call the popo.
They must have cleared it already with the city government or whatever. Just any little library is allowed. They must
Maybe.
have, right?
Maybe. Yeah. Let's the what's like Fahrenheit 451, honey, where the government comes in and they burn all the books. That's what the Democrats want. So $550, we were like, oh, maybe we won't get a little library. Well, lo and behold, who knows how they came up with the 500 smackaroos, but we're out in the pavilion hanging out, doing the gym, and we see our Riva maintenance guy. What is it? Oh, handyman, who's actually helped us out with a few things. With one thing, our faucet. He was putting together the little library, and wham bam, thank you, Anthony Simon. We had a little library the next day. You've tracked its progression, honey. This is a big deal in your life. How did it start out? How's it doing now?
Oh,
Have you given things? Have you taken things?
yes and yes. When it first started out for the first couple of days,
Hmm.
it only had 2 DVDs and one little book in there.
Ah,
And I sadly had nothing that I was able to donate at the time, but luckily it filled up really quickly. Let me tell you, we have the best little library in West Sacramento.
wow,
Maybe,
bold claim.
maybe in Yolo County.
I would contradict that, but oh,
There are so many great titles, new
yeah,
titles,
yeah.
hardbacks,
Ah,
and it's just beautiful. It's
yeah,
pristine.
yeah. We walked by there today. It's in order. It's nice and neat. It's properly put together. It's overflowing with books, but not so much. But it has the perfect amount. Um, what are you gonna like? I think you should like get a rocking chair, honey. Maybe start knitting. Just like with your cardigan and your grandma glasses, and just hang out by the little library. And when people come by, you could be the little library official, unofficial librarian, and
Oh
say,
yeah.
"Would you need any help picking a book, young man?" Are you gonna do that? You can
Heck yeah.
you can make tea.
Dream job.
Yeah.
I'm there.
Okay. You could have like little library cards. You could have an adult section, if you will. Uh, but so the little library is doing well. You're
Yeah,
happy with it.
it's healthy.
Okay.
It's booming.
There's no vandalism. There's no graffiti.
Not yet.
Okay. What if you see uh, things out of sorts? Are you gonna take stuff out and move it? Are
Oh
you gonna
yeah.
continue that redistribution
Yeah,
of
oh
wealth?
yeah. Oh, I would keep it in order.
You should start like a little condo book club. I mean, we got the little library. You could start a reading book club, and do those women get together and drink wine or whatever and chat about books? But I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, I would love that.
You can meet out there with Kathy Bailey and Tyson. Yes, we have a neighbor, a woman named Tyson, and chat about books. I think that'd be a good time. I think we should do it. I think we should start it,
Yeah,
and
just post it on the our little neighborhood Facebook page.
I will. It'll be fun.
Are you gonna join?
Yeah.
Are you gonna read the books? Or are you
Oh,
just gonna drink the wine?
well,
Eat the cookies and drink the wine.
I'll read the Cliff's notes. I'll read the Wikipedia summary.
Okay, you'll watch the book talk summary.
Yeah. I'll 5 minutes before the test on Angela's Ashes, I'll pull us aside my smart classmate Amit Sinha, and I'll be like, "So, what was that book about,
Can you
Amit?"
summarize this 400
Yeah,
page book
yeah.
in
We,
2 minutes?
we got 2 minutes, and Mr. Pyle is passing out the test right now. Hurry it up, Amit Sinha. Books, Kindle. I recently bought you a Kindle. bought myself a Kindle, which is taking forever for whatever reason. Thanks, Jeff Bezos. Um, but we have Prime Reading on it, which is free with Prime, which I'm thinking of canceling. But anyways, Prime Reading sucks. The selection sucks.
Terrible selection.
Lean pickings. But we found out that if you hook it up uh, with your local library, uh, you can check out much more stuff. You like quote, even though it's all digital, which makes zero sense because there's infinite amount of copies of everything. But anyways, you can like check out books from your local library digitally, and they pop up on your Kindle. It's fantastic, and we're like kind of gaming the system. We have the West Sacramento Library, and then you have Sacramento Library.
Yes.
So we have like double the selection. It's still not like you're not going to get all the John Grishams or whatever, all the best-selling Stephen Kings, but there's a ton more stuff. And yeah, so go to your local library's website. Libby is a website slash app for Westsac, YOLOCountyOverdrive.com. No, I'm sorry, YOLOCounty.overdrive.com has a ton of books. And I see here in my notes, honey, that I've made your dream come true with this Kindle. Can you tell the people?
uh, so something that I've discovered is starting about a year ago, I started getting books on CD.
Yes.
And I listen to CD audiobooks only in my car while I'm driving.
Right.
And when I started doing that, I was able to listen to an audiobook, and then I was also reading a physical copy of a book. So I was able to simultaneously read two books.
Yeah.
Which I never read multiple books at a time because I
Ah.
can't keep it straight.
Right.
But because it's on different formats,
Yeah.
for some reason my brain can process it and
Yeah.
keep it separate.
Totally.
So now that I have the Kindle, which you just got me for Christmas,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm now reading 3 books at a time because
Nice.
I'm able to focus. I can do the 3 different formats at a
Yeah.
time, and it's fabulous.
Yeah.
I'm like flying through books. I'm on my 9th book, and it's the 14th day of the year, and
Yeah.
I've read almost 9 books this year so far.
It makes sense, like the different formats, and it's using this part of your brain. The CD's using this part of your brain. Kindle's using that part of your brain. So yeah, 3 books at once. Congratulations. How many books have you? It's mid-January. How many books have you read so far in 2024?
I'm on my 9th.
Wow. And then 2023, you read how many?
I read 101 books last year, which is my record since I've been keeping track.
You should be a book talker, honey. I see here in my notes, honey, that I looked in our library on our Kindle slash your Kindle. I see here the titles Torn and Tattered series, books 1 through 3. And I looked at the covers, and if these were released in the 80s, Fabio would be on all 3 covers. How would you classify this? Smut porn, honey? Is that what's going on here?
Something that happened when I got the Kindle is you've been helping me set it up,
Yeah.
use it, you linked it to my library. So now I'm exposed for my trashy romance reading habits.
Yeah.
I think I was hiding that from you.
You were.
Up until this point.
I had no idea. I thought you were reading the great just War and Peace over and over. But just the great literary works. More another John Steinbeck novel, honey. Oh wait, Torn and Tattered, number series 3.
Listen,
yeah.
I contain multitudes.
Yeah.
I love reading books about science and psychology and stuff like that. I read nonfiction. I read memoirs. I read trashy romance, smut. I'm all over the place.
Gotcha.
Okay.
What's the appeal? Like, is it like watching a documentary, like all these sex cults or Nexium or these salacious murders in Boston that we've been watching all this crap? Is that the appeal, or is it just a good time?
To reading smut?
Yeah.
It's like watching a rom-com in a book.
I
mean, I love romance because there's no stakes. They're very easy. They're feel good. I get through them so quickly, like in 2 days. they're just kind of a palate cleanser in between the heavier content that I read.
Gotcha. It's like the Hallmark Christmas movies or whatever. Um,
Yeah,
Easy to
exactly.
digest.
Yeah, they're a fun, good time.
Yeah. Okay. Alrighty. So the little library is working, honey. I think you should be the official librarian. Like, you got to wear your hair in a bun, and then on the weekends when you go to Jamaica, drink a bunch of red stripe. You pull the pin out of your hair and you move your hair back and
Okay.
your head back and forth, and your hair cascades down, and that's what that's what librarians do on the weekend, right?
Oh, okay.
Alrighty. Well, are we done, honey?
Yeah.
Okay, we're done. Thank you for listening. It's been wonderful. Let's all try a little. Eh.
And oop.
Alrighty, well, that's the end of the program. It's been fun, but not really. Let's all try a little harder next time. Like, comment, subscribe, follow, review, and rate, or don't. Do whatever you want. You're a grown up. Make your own decisions. Do what's best for your family. Please be sure to use our promo code for littlefreelibrary.org. We don't have a promo code for that website. So Kathy Bailey raised that money, right?
I wonder who contributed money. I don't know if it was a few people or did Kathy Bailey just pay for the whole thing herself.
Yeah.
I'm very curious.
Yeah. Got to see a donor roll. Oh, speaking of library, you joined the Friends
Oh,
of West Sac
oh my
Library,
gosh.
right?
Friends of the Library, West Sacramento. I just joined today.
Yeah.
I don't know what I guess they do book sales and they do little activities at the library. They have a monthly meeting. They
Yeah.
have an annual dinner. I'm
Yeah.
so excited.
Yeah. And on the reasons to join to become a friend of the library, the first one is make friends.
First bullet point, make friends.
Yay. Please be sure to use our promo code. Oh, I already said that. Goodbye, my parasocial podcast friends. I love you. My wife and I love you. We hope you have a good day today and tomorrow. And sure, my wife may read trashy, smut, erotic
Yeah, baby.
thriller. Well, you did like Twilight, honey. And you read 50 Shades, right?
Oh, yeah.
Did it
Those were terrible.
did it do it for you? Did it work it out? Did you work it out? But she's still a good person, and we're still good people. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your time. Thank you for caring. I hope you have a wonderful day/night. A ball.